month's monthly reset. It is December, which means it's the last reset of the year, which is crazy. I feel like this year went by super fast, which is kind of scary for me, but we don't gotta think about that. But nonetheless, I am very excited for this video. I'm very excited for the new year and all of that. So thank you so much for clicking on this video. I first wanted to start off this reset with a really fun announcement. So me and my really good friend Brielle are gonna be doing a New Year's goals live stream, and this is gonna be this Sunday on December 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And during the stream, we're really just gonna be brainstorming some goals that we would like to do. It's gonna be a very interactive stream, so we have some prompts that can help us with like reflecting on this year, things that we did well and things that we did bad, so we can take all the things we learned into next year and just brainstorm things. Like, we really want this to be a fun conversation. So if you really enjoy watching my resets, then I would love so much for you to come to the stream so we can talk and chat. You don't have to come prepared or anything. If I'm being honest myself, I haven't really fully thought about the goals I want to accomplish next year, but that's completely fine because we're gonna all just be starting to brainstorm, just throwing things out there and being able to have a conversation with the other people in the stream. If you would like to join, be sure to put the notifications on so you can get a reminder when it's almost time to stream and chat and all that. And let me know in the comments if you'll be able to come so I can look forward to meeting you. Also, a little fun fact about the visual we made for this is that it's a mood board that me and Brielle both put together. So half of it are things that visualize a little bit of what I would hope the next year would bring, and the other half is what Brielle would hope the next year would bring, which I just think is really fun. Now that we got that announcement out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about November. The first area was personal, and I just said I wanted to let gratitude be the focus of the month. Pretty on theme with Thanksgiving. I just wanted to make gratitude and thankfulness be at the forefront of my mind and not let other things going on in life make me have a pessimistic viewpoint. I felt like going into the month, there was a lot going on worldly and personally, and I just feel like it's very easy to get sucked into the doom and gloom of all of it. And I think no matter what, being able to look at the bright side of things and look about, okay, maybe you don't have this, but you have this. And it's just like the smallest things, like the fact that you're watching this, the fact that you are in a position where you even have access to watch this video means that you have something to be grateful for. You're already kind of in the 1% of the world who doesn't have that. The fact that you can breathe, the fact that you are alive, like there's so many things that we take for granted and we worry about small stuff, and it's like, girl, you're alive. Chill. So I'm really glad that I put this as the first thing, and honestly the most important thing out of all of this, and being able to just like kind of take a step back and chill out and be like, whatever's going on, not that it's not important or not to invalidate whatever's going on, but I feel like just always having a bright side to something is good. And there was a lot of days this month that I caught myself and I was like, oh, this sucks, but I kind of forced myself, and I'm also grateful that I have people around me who also try to do the same thing in life. So I feel like I can check this off. Not to say that there weren't times where I was sad, but that wasn't the point of this, right? Like, there was a point where it was like gloomy for a week. I was not my best self, guys. I was really struggling, but I was still trying to find the light in the dark. Ooh. Okay, so there was that. Then I said for social media that I wanted to experiment with thumbnails, post 3 community posts a week, and then post 4 Pinterest posts. Experiment with thumbnails, I did that. I feel like my thumbnail game has been really improving. I'm gonna put on the screen all the ones from this month. I feel like I did a different variety of them. They weren't all collages, they weren't all just one photo. So I feel like I can successfully check that off. And then with posting community posts, I did that. I'm having so much fun with community posts. I started this thing where like every Monday I ask you guys on a poll to pick a quote to theme your week, and I feel like that's really fun. I feel like being able to have an intention going into the week helps you stay focused. Not to say that you're not gonna forget what you pick, but it's a thought that counts, and I feel like it's good for me as well because I get to read all these quotes and think about for myself what I would pick and what is a good reminder and what is like good energy to bring for the new week. So I'm gonna keep doing that for sure. And then I would always update you guys when I had a new video live. For Black Friday when Kindle was on sale, I let you guys know. So me and community posts are like this. I'm having so much fun doing it and definitely want to continue doing it for the foreseeable future. And then post 4 Pinterest posts, I have so far only posted 1, so I cannot click this off. But it's also the end of November at the time of filming this, so it's not out of the realm of possibility right now. But if I'm being honest, probably won't do it. Like, I definitely want to get more into Pinterest and see how I can like share different pictures and in my videos through there, but I feel like right now in this current moment there's a lot going on and I'm not feeling driven to do it, so I don't want to like force myself just because I said I was gonna do it. Like, I didn't do it. It is what it is. And then the last one was wellness, and I said exercise most days, so 4 out of 7 days a week, with 2 out of 4 of those being an organized workout. And so I I didn't do this. I really didn't. I'm trying to think of an excuse because I gotta have one. I just did not care. Honestly, I hate to admit it, I just did not care. It was so gloomy and rainy for like a good few days here, and it just made me like not want to do anything. And even going outside for a walk was hard. I did a few organized workouts, but definitely I can't say I did 2 a week. I didn't. But once the sun came out, I was going outside every day, but that's not really a problem for me. Like, I walk all the time, but it's just the organized workout part. Like, I don't know why it's so I know, I'm just lazy. I don't know. It's just hard for me to like get into it, and this is definitely gonna be a goal that we're gonna bring into the next year because for whatever reason, it's like pulling out teeth for me. Maybe I just need to like spend money on it because I am cheap, and like if I know if I spend money, then I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna get my money's worth. So something to think about. Something to think about. And then for the words that describe this month, the first one I said was thankful because of course I have to put thankful. I had a really fun Thanksgiving. I hope you guys had a fun Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful for like my life, for everyone in my life, for the opportunities I have, my trajectory of life right now, like everything, the good, the bad. Well, maybe not the bad, but yeah, I was just very thankful for everything. Even just waking up in the morning and I see the sun, I am so thankful for the sun and having a roof over my head, food, literally everything. And then for refreshing and experimental, I'm gonna put these two together just because I felt like I did a lot of new things today. Not today. I did a lot of new things this month. For one, like I was very experimental with my thumbnails. I feel like I've been very experimental with my YouTube in general with posting on my community tab, and even though I didn't really do a whole lot of Pinterest, I dabbled. And me and Brielle, we did a few live streams on her writing channel. Be sure to subscribe to her writing channel if you haven't already. She's writing a whole book, guys, and that is so cool. And if you like fantasy romance books, then she's gonna be your cup of tea because that's the type of book she's writing right now, and it's so interesting to like learn about the process and see her go through all of that. But anyways, yeah, we've been doing live streams, so I feel like with just YouTube in general, it's been very experimental and I'm having a lot of fun. And then refreshing just because when you do something new, it like breathes new life into you. Also, like my routine seems very different with the friendships I've been making, which I don't want to keep talking about because I feel like you guys already know. But Brielle and Celine, they're so fun. Like, I love talking to them and we make it a habit to talk all the time, FaceTime as much as we can. And I've just been having a lot of fun getting into the routine of talking to them and having people that relate to me in so many different ways beyond YouTube. So that's just been really refreshing. The weather is starting to change a little bit, so having a change in that's refreshing. So yeah, I just felt very thankful, refreshed, and experimental this month, and I'm very happy about that. So these are all the goals that I completed this month. These are the words for the month. This is everything. So if you've been here for a while, then you know that last year when it was December, I said that I just wanted to like reflect and refine my goals, everything going on. I didn't want to make December goals at the time because I felt like the New Year's around the corner. December's just like a kind of chaotic month in general for a lot of people, including me. So I didn't want to make anything new or do anything new. I felt like it was a good pause for the year. And then when January hits, then we can go hard with new stuff. I think that's just kind of what I'm going to do again this year. I have so many things going on this month and I just don't want to like put in any new habits. As you can see, there's some goals that I haven't even completed yet and I can just kind of carry over for the next month. So I kind of just want to reflect on this whole year, reflect on the things that I am doing well on, the things I'm doing bad on, and refine the things that I can work on. And I feel like December is like just good to tie everything up, be able to be like, okay, this is where I've gotten compared to last year. Let me continue what's working and continue to try to do better what's not working. And then I feel like January comes, it's a new fresh start, and I just feel a lot more ready to go. Like for me, I just don't want every month to be a, what are the goals? What are the goals? What are the goals? You know what I mean? Like I want to make sure that I'm not just making a lot of goals and not thinking about the habits for it. Like I don't just want to check it off. I want to grow as a person and all that stuff. So that's just what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a goal setting portion for December. I might make a spread on my Notion for fun and maybe just have a reflection on December December at the end of the month for that. But we're just gonna go ahead and skip to the next portion of this video, which is going to be all the books I read this fall. Some of them you probably already know, but there are a few here that I haven't had the opportunity to talk about, and I would love to share them with you. So some of them are physical books, some of them are Kindle. It's probably gonna be a little bit long, so let's go and start with the first book. Okay, so the first book I read was Wretched by Emily McIntyre. It is the third book, I think, of the Never After series. I've read books 1 and 2 already, and this was supposed to be a Wizard of Oz reimagining. If you're not familiar with the series, every book is a fairy tale reimagined, and we're going to be rooting for the villain in these stories. So for the first book, it was a Lion King reimagining. There were no lions, they're real people, but we get to follow the character representative of Scar, and we kind of get to know him more, and you find yourself rooting for the villain. For the second book, it was a Peter Pan reimagining. I very much liked those two books. I enjoyed them a lot. But the third one, Wretched, I gotta be honest, I did not enjoy it very much. I think I already talked about it. So the story was supposed to be between the Wicked Witch of the West and the Tin Man, which is very interesting, but I just could not like her. Like, there was nothing I liked about her. I felt like I couldn't root for her because there was nothing redeeming about her. She was giving me nothing. So the gist of the story is that the main guy, his name isn't Nick. He is a undercover detective, and he's trying to go undercover and try to find the supplier of this drug going around called Flying Monkey. And the love interest, Evelina, she's the daughter of the drug lord. So when he goes in to infiltrate, she is there. But the twist is that they actually met before at a bar, and they had a one-night stand, and she was disguised as someone else, and he lied about his name. So when they re-meet again, she's kind of like, oh, well, now you have a different name. I don't know if I can trust you, suspicion, and all that stuff. So we just kind of follow their story, and I don't know, like, he's supposed to be the best undercover guy ever, but he just flopped so many times and gave her information about his true identity that wasn't part of his cover-up. It annoyed me because on one hand, she's not likable, on another hand, he's just stupid. So I had a hard time rooting for them. It took me a little bit to read just because I read a few chapters and I let it sit for a couple weeks. When I reread it, it took a couple days. So it wasn't like boring necessarily. I just wasn't invested in their love story. Like, I didn't care if they got together or not. She's really crazy and he really got it down bad is really how I can summarize it. There's spice in this if you do not like spice. And I rated it a 3-star. I was engaged enough to complete it and it wasn't miserable to get through and drag through, but the characters just weren't giving it to me. And I noticed a pattern with this book, the second book, and the first book about the interconnectedness between the two love interests and how the downfall or death of one of their parents is somehow connected to the other one. And I got the same vibes just reading the back of the book. Like, no spoilers or anything. It's like, oh, I can't trust this man, or I can never forgive this family, or I can't do this or that because they represent something or they did something directly to my family members, which just kind of got predictable in my opinion and made it a little less enjoyable. I felt like I was zooming through the series pretty well. Like, there's 2 books left out that I need to read in this series, and there's one more coming out soon, I think. We'll see when I'll pick it up, but it's free on Kindle Unlimited if you are interested. The next book I have not talked about at all. This one is called The Sweetest Oblivion. It's by Danielle Laurie, and it is about 2 characters, Elena and Nico, and it's a mafia romance. And this is my first mafia book. In Wretched, there was like mafia elements, but it was also reimagining, so there was a lot of things at play there, but this was just pure mafia romance. And I learned a lot about it because I didn't know anything about how the mafia worked before, so this was interesting. A lot of times there are arranged marriages in mafia groups and families, and it's purely contractual, just like to keep balance in these mafias. And so Nico has an arranged marriage with Elena's sister, but it's interesting because Nico starts liking Elena starts kind of liking Nico, and so seeing how that works out when he's engaged to her sister is very interesting. And she is the older sister, so technically he should be engaged to her, but something happens where they couldn't allow him to be with her, so he gets engaged to the younger sister. This is a dark romance, so it's the touch her and you're dead thing, and I love that. I love the drama. I don't care if it's toxic, I eat that up. And so it was really fun to read, and I felt like I kind of zoomed through it. I kind of liked how Nico would have a lot of threats to Elena, and she would kind of push his buttons and be like trying to like test him, I guess. guess. And then Nico's very psychotic, literally burning down buildings and killing family members just because he feels like it. He's also a billionaire, and I have a thing for billionaires in suits, guys, so leave recommendations down below. And I also really enjoyed that in the romance, it was a slow burn, but they gave crumbs. Like, I hate when it's slow burns and they don't give me anything. It literally makes me want to burn myself. Like, I need a slow burn and give me crumbs to last me to when everything is good and dandy. I would really appreciate it that this book was that for me, and I didn't have to dread reading because they were just giving me a bunch of nothing. There was spice in this, so keep that in mind. One of the things that I didn't enjoy about this book is one, miscommunication. I did not enjoy the miscommunication. I felt like the climax, it could have been so avoidable. It actually made me mad. Like, I just couldn't understand why we got to that point, and it felt very lazy to me. And also, this might be minor, but when I found out stuff later, it kind of made sense to me. So I feel like when people give descriptions of other people, it can come off weird when you're trying to talk about how this person's another race. And so there was this one scene with a black guy that she did. It was very minor, like it's like not even a paragraph. And then the author kind of just, the way that she even like made him speak felt weird to me. Nico was about to light a gas station on fire, and there was this black guy, and just the way she described like, oh, there was this black guy, and he was kind of like, oh, hell nah, and like, I don't know, like the way that she just kind of did that made me feel kind of uncomfortable. I don't know, like I don't feel like I'm really good at explaining it, but it just felt weirdly stereotypical, and like there's no other black characters in this book, which like I'm not saying that she needs to have them, but if you do it, why do you portray him that way? I felt like she kind of just used it for like comedic relief, like, okay, I'm just gonna have this black guy here because I want to make him say something funny and different than everybody else, and it kind of like puts a spotlight on it, and I just really didn't like that. And then there was also another scene with like Asian people. I can't remember exactly the scene, but there was an Asian person or a group of Asians, and I just kind of felt like I didn't understand when she like decided to switch up on race. Like, just the way she did it felt kind of like, I don't know, stereotypical, and like made it seem like, oh, these people are different. I don't know if I'm explaining it right. Maybe there's a word for it that I'm missing, but I didn't like it. And like, why not just not make a spectacle out of them, I guess? Like, because you know, she's not saying, oh, the white guy. It's just, you gotta always insert the other races. So it made it feel very like white's default, everyone else is this, and insert this stereotype. And apparently the author, Danielle Laurie, was caught in some racism scandal. I don't know the details. I did not do a huge deep dive. I just know a few things here and there, but I'm not gonna be the source to spread that information. Go ahead and look it up. But I can't say I was surprised because it was giving me icky vibes reading it. She really just didn't have to, like, if she wanted them to all be white, just let them all be white. It's not that serious, but like, don't have weird stereotypical character traits in it. I don't know, it just really got on my nerves, I gotta be honest. So just looking at the book as a whole and only that, I felt like it was a good like 4 stars, but I know some people probably lowered it considering the scandal and stuff, but I just don't know a whole lot about that. So just purely looking at the book, I thought it was a good book, 4 stars. The race thing didn't show up frequently, but just when it did, it made me itch. The miscommunication sucked, but everywhere else was nice. I don't know if I mentioned, but there's spice in it, and it's part of a series as well. I don't remember the name of it, but I don't care to continue reading just because it's different characters, and I don't care about the different characters, if I'm being honest. So I don't see myself continuing the series. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it's on Kindle Unlimited free as well. Girl, if I say I read anything on my Kindle, just know I read it for free. Also, this is probably gonna be one of the last times you see my fall Kindle case. I'm really sad. I'm doing reading vlog coming up, and then we're gonna change this for the winter time, so keep a lookout on that. And then the next set of books I read was the Shadow Me series. I recently did a review about it, so I cannot go into full detail about this, but if you want to know every single book and my thoughts on it, not even all the books are here. This is only 6 and there's 5 other novellas. So if you want a better review with spoilers at the end and all that, check out my book playlist. But this series pretty much revolves around a 17-year-old girl who has this ability where if you touch her skin, then it will cause immense pain, and if you touch it for long enough, it can cause death. And so she pretty much gets locked up in an asylum for almost a year, and we get to learn a little bit more about her and how she got there. We also get to follow her after getting out of the asylum. How she gets out is very interesting, and there's a love triangle in this series as well, which I love. A book boyfriend that I see everyone talk about is in this series, so if you want to know the tea, I highly recommend reading it. I'll have the series linked in the description if you would like to purchase them. I feel like they're pretty affordable for books because they books can be very expensive, and the novellas you can find for free online. So yeah, highly recommend this series. I felt like it was very action-packed. I had lots of love. There were some parts, of course, just like in any book, where I was kind of like, what? But for the most part, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, this was my first fantasy-ish book that I've read in a while, but also I read the first 3 books when I was like 13, 14 years old, maybe even earlier than that, I don't remember. But it was very interesting too that like the fact that I read this when I was so young, and like she was older than me at the time, and then now I'm older than her, it's kind of interesting. Like I felt like I was like connecting with my younger self, which made a video about that while I was reading this, so watch that video. But I felt like I was reconnecting with my younger self because I got to think about my perspective and what I would have liked and what I did like about this book growing up, and see if it changed now that I'm old. It was just very interesting. She was older than me at the time I read it, and by the time I finished the series, I am older than her. So it was very, very fun to think about. I rated this series, I think it was like 4 stars. Every book has a different rating for different reasons, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I zoomed past the last few books because it got crazy, but highly recommend reading it if you haven't already. So I realized while editing this that I forgot to mention one other book called The Wish Collector. I made a reading vlog if you want to check that out about it, but pretty much revolves around this girl who is new to New Orleans, and she hears about this wall on a plantation that grants wishes. So she goes to there, finds that there is a man living on the other side of the wall, and it's supposed to be abandoned. So they start talking between the wall and kind of catching feelings. Her name is Clara and his name is Jonah. They kind of build this relationship without really seeing each other, and he doesn't show himself because of something that happened in his past, and kind of read through it and find out more about why he is the way that he is, why he doesn't want to show her his face, and all of that. And at the same time, we learn about another love story that happened on this plantation between a slave and a white man, and how that connects to present day and Jonah and Clara's story, which was really interesting to read about. In the reading vlog, I mentioned how even though I think it was a really good story and I thought it was nicely written, like I don't think I would read it again, and I think if I knew everything I know now, I don't know if I would necessarily be a book for me. I completely can recognize it's a good story, but it's not really one that I typically lean towards. I don't really like books about slavery, discrimination, struggle, so it wasn't really for me, but I still thought it was a beautiful love story, and there's lots of growth in it as well. So I enjoyed that. I rated it a 4-star, mostly because I can recognize that it's a good book, but just not really one for me. So let's continue on with the video. And then the last book that I am actually currently reading, and I'm about to come with a reading vlog about it, is called Credence. It is a book about a girl who her parents recently died, and she is living with her dad's stepbrother. They're in the middle of the forest in a small town in Colorado, and I don't even know how to explain this book, guys, because it's crazy. I have like 100 pages left, but pretty much I didn't fully check myself before deciding to read this book and deciding to even make a reading vlog about it. She is living with her step uncle and her step cousins in the woods, and it's winter time and it's snowy, and they get really cozy with each other is all I can say. I have regrets. It's very, very spicy. Like, so far what I can say about this book is do not read it if you're expecting plot and all this great stuff about writing. Like, it's really just spice, and I guess I was expecting other things, and I just read it and I was like, oh, drama. Like, my drama senses were like tingling, and I was like, I need to read it because I just love reading about drama, but like it got me in trouble, and now I'm out here questioning everything. So I feel like this is gonna be a really interesting reading vlog, so you can see my thoughts on that, but it'll be coming out after this video. Anyways, how many books is that? I think that's 14 books I read from September, October, and November, which is a lot for me, honestly. Like, I know some booktubers, they would be reading 14 books in 1 month, which is crazy to me, but not too shabby. And also very interesting because my goal going into the year was that I wanted to read 15 books the whole year. So kind of killed that goal, but we'll talk about that in our New Year's reset. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in this weekend's New Year goals live stream. I'm just so excited to talk about things, to get to know you guys, and I hope to see you there soon. I always have my Notion template down in the description box, so if you like it, you can use it for free and all that stuff. So I think that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys hopefully this Saturday Sunday, December 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye!